So in this video I'm just going to explain to you guys some of the items that were shown in my inventory and how I was able to gather up all of the equipment within the time of the demo. So if you're looking for specific locations, I won't be able to provide every single one of them in the video because this video showcases everything, but I can explain some of the key items that people are looking for, such as the golden axe. I know everyone wants that one. The amulet, in my opinion, that gives 80 speed is pretty broken. I'll tell you guys where to get that as well. There's also a amulet that gives you, I believe it's 80 SP points. Stimulating necklace, there it is. The wind necklace, or wind amulet, I'm sorry, is actually really useful as well. Considering the Carrion Cave, which is the cave that I'm in the moment, that cave has a lot of enemies that will use wind attacks. It's the best place for grinding. That sprightly necklace right there, that is one of the best items for grinding in this cave, because what I did in this cave to grind was I equipped, I believe her name is, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, Hillian, the hunter. I gave her the speed necklace, as you can see, and this was very useful because she would always act before anyone in the battle. I also equipped her with all the black gear, which I will tell you where to get, because that gives her a lot of evasion, and combined with the elusive shield, that shield will provide you with a significant amount of evasion for her. She already has high evasion as it is, so if you gear her up in that way, she has mega high evasion, good speed, and good attack power overall. So the arcane bow is a good bow to give her in the demo. I haven't found a better one. My strategy in this cave is to actually encounter 5 or more enemies if you can. Try to shoot for a Kate if you can. The Kates are the little cat creatures that appear. They seem to appear out of one out of every 10 battles in the cave. I don't grind for them. If they just show up, it's good. Keep in mind they'll run away immediately. So having your hunter set up this way will ensure that she will always act before your enemies. Even if the Kate shows up, she'll still get one turn in. So if that happens, chances are you won't be able to kill the Kate before it leaves. So what you should do is spam an item. You can use the medium stones, because if you use the normal stones, and it doesn't matter what element, the soul stones I'm talking about, doesn't matter if you use dark, light, ice, fire, none of that matters, because the Kate doesn't have any elemental resistance or weakness. So as far as the enemies in the battles, the mobs, if you really wanted to, you could prefer the wind stone, because those will also break all of the birds in the battles. So you'll break all the birds and you'll kill. But you need to use a medium stone, because if you use the light stone, or the basic, I don't know what you want to call it, the non, because it has an M next to it, that means medium, I guess. I don't know if they're going to change that. But the medium stone will one-shot the Kate. If you use a normal stone, it'll take 2 stones to kill it. Okay, so I used that strategy. I gave her all the speed, so she acted first, tossed a stone, and that would kill the Kate, and along with, you usually kill all the birds too if you use the medium stone. You might have to grind out for some of those stones, stealing them from people. They're usually 3% steals. There's a few of them in Cyrus's hometown, in the area with all the shops. There's at least 2 or 3, I believe, of them in that area. One of the guys near the weapon shop, and one is near the save, right below the save point. They're both on the bottom of the map right there, and you can steal from them. Those 3% steals are a little rough, but it's good to grind out for at least 1 or 2 of them, so you can get so you can initially level up your party. You get like a 5 level bonus every time you hit a Kate with one of those in this cave. So it's a great way to just gain a few levels real quick. If you're at level like 8 or 9 even, you could do it at that level. So right now I'm just showing the map to kind of showed the layout in case anyone hasn't gotten all the heroes. What I did was I started with Cyrus. I actually progressed through in a counterclockwise motion, but what I did was I skipped Ophelia initially. I went to her town, but I just moved past her town. I went to Therion, got him, and then continued forward. I ran through the whole map with, well, actually I had Cyrus and the Hunter, and then I got Therion, so I had those three, and then I continued and got all the areas in the map. I got to Rippletide, and then after that I teleported back to Ophelia's town, where I then completed her chapter, because she was the 4th character I recruited. As you can see, they're the ones I leveled, but that's who I want my party to be anyway. I do have a few other ideas for the main game party, but in the demo this party was pretty broken, so I figured I would just, you know, work this out. I can always level up another character in the future, but there's really no reason to, you know, worry too much about it in the demo. You can just sort of have fun and figure out what party you like, because you're not going to be able to sub jobs in. So find a party that's really balanced in the demo so you can level and grind and get the items you want. Obviously there's not a lot of time to grind if you're trying to get all 8 towns and complete all 8 chapters for each individual hero so you can recruit them. So my strategy was pretty simple with that. You know, run through 1 to 2 towns. So let's say you start off at Boulder for Therion. You can save and then start your route. Run through the map, pick up all the chests, look at the items, figure out what you want to grab. Just know the route, and then run to the next town. Maybe run to 2 towns. I usually would just do 1 town, run the route, and then reload the game, and then just run it again. Get only the items you want. Run from all the battles, because Cyrus will find their weaknesses. If he's your main hero and you have him on the team, which I did, he'll find their weaknesses even if you run. So you can run from a battle or 2. My suggestion is to level him up as soon as possible. That's why it's good to start with him, because you want him to level as quickly as possible so he can then get his first skill, which will diminish the encounter rate. And I'm telling you, this is dramatic. Like you get like it at least doubles your running distance before you have an encounter, so it's really useful. And he's also really useful because you can start running from enemies to just keep moving, and then once you've, you know, acquired a weakness on the enemies that, you know, you're encountering in that area, you see that weakness and you say, okay, now my party has that weakness, I can hit them with that. So then when you encounter an enemy that has that, you just go ahead and nuke them and then finish the battle quickly. If you encounter them and see that they don't have any weaknesses that you've yet uncovered and you don't want to waste any time, just retreat. The strategy worked pretty good for me, and I just kept doing that over and over and over. And you know, it made getting through areas faster. It also made picking and choosing my battles a lot easier, because I was able to say, okay, well, this battle, I already know the weakness, I'll just drop this attack and then I'll nuke him with this character and battle's done. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever. So it's sort of just about kind of having a good idea. Yeah, see here, I'm showing the soul stones. I didn't even use them all, as you can see. I gathered as many as I could. That was sort of my goal going through towns, was find the equipments I want, find all the soul stones. The soul stones, this prevents you from having to grind and having to worry too much about who exactly is on your party. When you know the weakness of an enemy, you can drop a soul stone despite having the party that has the weakness. This will help you get through battles quickly. When you go into the Carrion Cave later to get to the higher levels, you'll have basically all options of soul stones at your disposal. You don't need to worry about, oh, well, I need only wind stones and there's only so many. It doesn't matter. You can use, you do have to use the hunter for this. I'm not sure that's her name, Hannett. I'm not sure. So, whatever. I can't, don't shoot me for that. But I'll just call her the hunter for now. Use her with that speed amulet setup that I said, and what she'll do is she'll act first. Why is this important? Well, The birds in this cave, and I'm not talking about there's a big crow-looking bird, like he's like similar to this boss. He looks like that, but he's like maybe like the baby version of it, but he's still huge. And he comes with like these 3 little chickling birds. If you ever encounter this encounter, just run. If you can't run, hopefully you save before, just reset, because you're gonna waste your time or they're gonna wipe you out. Don't even bother fighting that battle ever. It's honestly, like, I would say maybe a 1 in 5 chance at best. It's a rare encounter. You don't get it often. But the other encounters are a variety of 3 different like raven birds. Now these birds are all pretty good for grinding. There's only one that has like 4k HP, and he sort of has a totally different pose to the other ones, and usually you'll only get one of him in a battle. So he's sort of uncommon. I always recommend saving after each encounter, just until you're like level probably 19 or so, because otherwise if you have a good encounter or 2 and then you encounter one of those birds, it's going to burn a lot of your time. You're going to end up losing a lot of time, or the battle in general, because you're not going to have a way of hitting his weaknesses over and over. And he has about 5k HP, and if you're under level like 18, you're not going to really be able to deal a lot of damage. So I recommend to put Hannet, or the hunter, with that amulet set up. Every time you encounter a battle with 5 birds that doesn't have one of those powerful crows in it, you should just get groups of the 4 or 5 birds that have the 2 different varieties of ravens. You're going to want to use her arrow strike move, which is 24 SP, so you could even equip her with the amulet that gives a bonus 80 SP, so she's really decked out with SP. Otherwise you will have to use a plum on her from time to time. She should be leveling up after every battle, but once you get to like level 20 or so, she won't level up every time, so it won't restore her SP. So I recommend using the arrow strike. The good thing about the birds in this cave is, even though they are higher level, one hit from an arrow will automatically break them. Now arrow strike hits 5 to 8 times. You're guaranteed. I've never had one time where I've used it and not broken every single bird. It always breaks all 5 birds. So it's a guarantee. A lot of your arrows will miss, but one of them will connect on one bird at least once. So you'll get a hit on every bird, and then they'll all break. Once they're all broken, I proceed to just spam soul stones. You can get 400 damage per hit off a soul stone. The medium ones deal like over 2,000. I think it's like 2,200. I just save those. I don't use those. You can use those, like I said, only when the cates show up to guarantee you knock it out. Yeah, I use one of my mediums. I saved the medium shadow stone and all my shadow stones for this boss because he's a shadow weak boss. I don't have anyone in my party that uses shadow. Primrose would be useful, but I'm not using her in my load up in the moment, and so it doesn't really matter. I'm able to kill him no problem without having that. You can still use True Strike, or I use True Strike with the hunter because it's really useful just for getting like anywhere from like 150 to 200 damage if you get a crit on his weak point. So if you want to break him without spamming soul stones or having Primrose or someone with dark in your party, then she works perfectly good. You're gonna get there a little slower for the break because you only can use her, but my strategy is just look. I got 311 on that one. That's pretty good. That was a crit. She crits pretty good if you give her the right equipment too. Like you can swap out her elusive gear for this battle and give her there's a helmet and there's also a body armor that provide a little crit. So there's really good ways to swap the equipment. If you're a little lower level and you really want to try to focus on crit for the battle, it works. Reflective Veil is broken, by the way, in this battle. I didn't cast it on every party member, but I just wanted to show that you could do that. And if you do, it's so broken. You can reflect all 3 of his strikes or his meteors onto him. And I equipped Ophelia with the Inferno amulet, which is found in Sunshade, Primrose Town. You go to the save point on the far left, run all the way up to the top left corner, and there's a man and a woman. The woman has the Inferno amulet for a 3% steal. Totally worth it. I'll go through real quick the places to steal a few items now. So get that amulet, equip it to your healer in this battle, and you're good to go. When you're grinding, you can equip her with the Wind amulet. That's also another great item, just for making sure she doesn't get taken out by I think there's like a gale move that the birds use. It's pretty strong when you're at lower levels, so she can get wiped out pretty easily. Yeah, the Golden Axe is in Alstown. I think Clearbrook it's called. You can steal it from an old man inside of a house when you first walk in. It's blocked by a woman. You gotta provoke her, or challenge her, whatever, and then go in there and steal 3% chance. With all these 3% items, there's really two strategies to it. You can save beforehand and then just run straight to it, steal. My strategy was steal 3 times. If it stole on the 3rd try, it was sort of like, it depended how many times I tried loading the game, I would keep it. Usually I would steal 3 times. If it stole within, obviously the first time is great. If it steals by the 2nd, I would usually just take a hit on my reputation and say whatever. I wasn't too crazy about it, but you go for 3 tries, and then if you don't get it, you can reload. My strategy basically with the really key ones was that. The other way to do it is just to run through the town, find all the items that are 50% to roughly 80%, and try to steal them all in one shot. Just go through, steal them all in one shot, find all the items you want, soul stones. There's some good equipment out there. Key towns that I would say to steal items from people from are, let's see, Cyrus's town. He's got so many good steals there. I must have spent a good 20 minutes there stealing. You really got to plan your route in the first area, the second area, and then the castle. There's really good items from the boy in the castle on the far bottom right corner. He's got 4 items that are 3%. I stole all of them. It takes a little bit of time. I got really lucky and got like 2 of them in one shot. So you know you'll get lucky too. Like with the Golden Axe, you never know. Like you could steal it on your first shot. It actually happened to me. I ran into the town straight up off of running through from Therion's town. I provoked the character there immediately, the woman, and went in and stole it. Got it right away. It was like, okay, great. You know, so you will get that. That will happen to you. I've had so many times where I've done things that say, oh, 90% success chance, and it fails. It happens all the time. So another good place to steal is from a woman in Ulbricht's town. So you want to save at the save point and then run straight to your left. She has the amulet with the 80 SP. So go ahead and steal that from her. And you will be able to get pretty much the... Oh no, that's the speed amulet, I'm sorry. The SP amulet is in Therion's town. You can find that in the top right corner from a soldier after you've recruited him. So I hope I covered everything. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you have any questions, just post it in the thread.